Welcome back to the Lipoedema podcast. We are your hosts, Shell
and Tiana, and today our special guest is Lipoedema warrior Ruth Galea. Ruth, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We always love talking to our warriors. Now, you reside from Melbourne because we were just saying how, you live in Melbourne at the moment, but you're actually Maltese. Is that correct? When
Yes,
did you come to Australia?
20 years ago, we decided to bring our family to Australia. I'm a mother of two. Ryan is now 28 and Mariah is 23.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're going to touch on how your life and your lipedema has progressed, but I'm so curious to know, how did you come to learn of lipedema and when was that?
It's a funny thing because 6 years ago, I lost a very dear friend of mine and we had very similar lifestyles. So I paused. My biggest dream in life is to become a grandma one day. And I said, oh my God, Pauline is never going to be a grandma in her life. I have to change something. So what happened to her won't happen to me. And I decided to go on a weight loss journey. And 18 years ago, I had a lap band done, and even she had a lap band done. But I never used my lap band as an advantage. I always tried to cheat this thing. So it did nothing to me. So when she passed away, I was weighing 136.6 kilos. Wow. So that's when the switch flipped into my mind. And I said to myself, I need to take control of my life because I want to be a grandma and I want to play with my grandkids. So I started a weight loss journey, and 2.5 years on the journey, during COVID too, just after COVID, I lost 50 kilos. I started in 2019. 2022, another switch flicked into my mind. I had a coach. I used to send her pictures. So when I'm looking at these pictures of myself, I noticed that all my body was changing, but my legs were still staying the same, especially my calf, measuring 16 inches from day one to nearly 3 years on. So I went to the doctor. I was lucky there. And I said to him, Doctor, something's wrong with me. I cleaned my wardrobe from size 26 to size 16, but my white calf boots are still fitting the same. The shoe size changed from 10 to 7.5 or 8, but the calf is still staying the same. He said, if I touch your skin, does it hurt? I said, I'm always bruised. I used to think that my husband hits me in the bed while we're sleeping with his legs. He goes, let me touch your skin. He goes, I suspect you've got lipedema. I didn't know what it is. I did not know this thing existed. Anyway, he said, I'm going to send you to a vascular surgeon. I went to the vascular surgeon. The first thing we find out about my varicose veins hidden under the fat that I had. And he said, yes, I can see that you've got lipedema symptoms here, the skin, the shape of your legs, the sensitivity, this bruising. But I suggest we go to a lipedema therapist or a lymphedema therapist to get the actual stage and diagnosis. And at that stage, I was diagnosed 2, moving to 3. Stage 2, moving to 3. My therapist's name is Lucia. Lucia recommended that I will start wearing compression leggings straight away, medical grade. I was already wearing compression for my training, but it wasn't medical grade and it wasn't past my ankle. So I had to learn that. And then I said to her, what do I do next? And then we started with the vibration plate, dry brushing, and changing my food. So already lost 50 kilos, was already eating good diet, nutrition we call it, not diet. But I needed to change to an anti-inflammatory diet. And that was a game changer for me. Because since I changed from normal food to anti-inflammatory food, I lost a further 30 kilos.
Wow.
So, yes, in total, through these last 6 years, I lost 80 kilos. I want to put something clear to everybody because people know my name but doesn't know my story. So then I went to a plastic surgeon to remove the excess skin.
Sure.
In saying that, when Lucia told me to start wearing compression, she told me I had it in my arms too. So I started wearing compression top to bottom. So my arms are always in compression. Anyway, I went to the plastic surgeon, and when he saw me, he said, your tummy is ready, your arms are ready, but I'm not touching those legs. He goes, those legs are full of lipedema, and I pray for this man every single night, because the way he treated me, it's not like money. He treated me like a normal human being. He goes, if I touch your legs, your results are not going to come because your legs are still full of lipedema. He goes, when you clean that and you're ready, you come back to me. So that was in 2023 when I had my tummy tuck and I had skin removed from my arms, because by that stage when I started doing the pumps on my legs and on my arms, eating anti-inflammatory and lost more weight, I was ready to have my arms because there was no big nodules in my arms. And like, because I took good care of them with compression and pumping the fluid and never missed an MLD massage. Once a week, I met my therapist. MLD might sound like a joke because it's just simple technique touching the skin, but the way they move the fluid through the lymph nodes, and it's a recharge for me once a week to do my, and I know it's expensive, I know it's like a waste of time, but it's not. It's what made me go to the next step. So then 12 weeks ago, I had lipedema surgery on my lower legs. But on my initial consultation, I was told I need at least 3 surgeries on my legs because I had my lower legs, upper front, and upper backs from the consultation. And then when I went to Spain, I traveled to Spain and I did my surgery at Lipi Medical, because I wanted to treat my lipedema medically, not cosmetically. I didn't care about my loose skin because I've put in my head what the doctor told me. The lipedema needs to be treated and you have to be sure that you want to remove your loose skin first. Anyway, I got to my day of the surgery and I was facing the wall and the doctor was marking me. I looked at him and I said to him, so when is my next surgery? How long do I live between surgeries? He said, what surgery? He said, you only need this surgery. He goes, what I'm going to do for you, I'm just going a little bit over your knees like to make that cushion go. He goes, you don't need to come back. He goes, because what you've did with your food, with your exercise, with your compression, with your MLD, with your leg pumps and whatever you did, it reduced it and it stopped progression. So my job as a lipedema warrior is to help as many women get diagnosed at early stage and avoid surgery, especially my 23-year-old daughter, because she's diagnosed at stage 2. So now I come back from Spain and straight away I had my food ready for me, anti-inflammatory, because the journey doesn't stop at surgery. Surgery was there to help me navigate my life much more easier than it was before. For example, like before, I used to go once a week or twice a week for my MLD. I can now skip to a fortnight. It depends how my body feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back in the gym. I hired a strength and conditioning coach straight away. From the 3rd week, I was doing calf raises with him, squatting slowly, and so on until I build it. And I'm back into the gym normally 6 days a week.
Fantastic. And strength work is so important. But what was going through my mind when you told us that story is how beneficial your journey is to your daughter being diagnosed at stage 2 and understanding. I was talking about how the impact on your daughter with your journey is immense, because hearing that story about everything that you've been through, I just think about your daughter who's diagnosed at stage 2 and how much the knowledge of what you've been through is going to benefit her, especially the power of conservative management when you're as determined as you have been.
Yes, so Mariah was diagnosed not long after me. So at first, she didn't want to listen about the compression leggings. I said to her, I'll buy them for you. And I got her a custom-made one because her job is sitting down. So I tried to put it into her mind that the leggings is doing like a manual lymphatic drainage continuously for her. She was standing up from her desk with swelling. This we're talking about a person that weighs 68 kilos. She's taller than me and her legs are like balls, like her ankles. So now she put that into her mind. And she also has a vibration board under her desk. And we've got one here at home when she works from home, and she has got one in her office. So every hour, she runs it for 10 minutes. It's silent, and she got it approved by her office with the tech for the electricity. It's annoying no one, but it's beneficial for her. She doesn't do the leg pumps like I do religiously 1 hour a day. But when she's home, she sits on the pumps and she does them too.
They are great habits to have, Ruth. Your dedication has definitely helping her.
And what she sees is you putting in the effort, and therefore she will more than likely put in the effort herself.
I always say I lead by example, because if I'm going to talk to someone about lipedema and I'm saying to them, oh, you need to wear compression leggings, and they look at me and they say, oh, where is your compression? My compression is always there. If it's not black, I like colors. I like colorful clothes and stuff. So if I want to wear anything, I just put it under my clothes. I went to India in that hot weather and I was wearing compression underneath my clothes.
You'll be great in Queensland, Ruth.
You know what? If it's something that's going to help me benefit from this leg pain and heaviness and avoid flare-ups, I will do it. I will do it. So as we said, I come from Malta. And this April, before I went to Spain for my surgery, I went to visit my parents. It was hot. Everybody's looking at me and saying, why is she wearing those leggings? Because I dressed them up with tunics and stuff. I wasn't overlaying them, but I was wearing my medical grade compression. And my mom told me, why are you always wearing those leggings? I said, that's not the same one. First of all, I'm washing them. But these are medical grade compression. And you know what I did to my mom? Because my mom has got lipedema stage 3 moving to 4. I found a therapist, which I was doing my MLDs while I was on holiday. And I said to her, I'm going to give you money. Give me a pretend voucher. I'm going to send my mom here, telling her she's going to have a massage. Can you please diagnose her for me? So I made the card, the voucher in, and I sent my mom. Because for her, I have lymphedema, she thinks, not lipedema. She couldn't put it in her mind. So the lady told my mom that, yes, she's got lipedema stage 3. So from that visit, my mom has been using the vibration plate. She's got one. Coincidence, because this woman buys anything she sees on TV. Yeah, and she's been going to MLD once a fortnight.
How's she feeling, Ruth?
She said, my fluid is going. Of course, Mom, because you're moving it. That visit to Malta for me was very sad and heartbreaking, okay? Because you know how we say here in Australia with the women we talk and like do awareness, 1 in 9 or 10 women. In Malta, 5 of 10 women.
Wow.
So my mental health went backwards in that visit because, you know, as we lipedema women, when we walk and we see someone, okay, she's stage 2 or she's at the beginning, automatically you do that when you are so into this thing. So I felt so sad. I went to visit my auntie, and my auntie, her brains are so good. Her memory is so good. But to have a shower, my auntie, or go to the toilet or sit to have lunch or dinner needs to be lifted by a hoist because her legs are so out of control. She can't stand on them and there's no awareness at all. So she progressed from lipedema to lymphedema, and then they pick it up when it's too late, when it's lymphedema. But if you look at her arms, they're the same shape, same size as mine were. And I looked at my husband and said, I think we're lucky we went to live in Australia, because I would have never picked it up. Never picked it up. For them, that's obesity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going back to Malta on the 18th of December. I've already had talks with someone in the government, like the health, close to the health minister. I actually met the prime minister and told him about this on my visit.
Fabulous.
We were doing a charity walk for kids with cancer. It's funny because it was 4 days before my surgery and I managed to walk 23 kilometers straight.
Oh, wow.
So, but with
You
compressions on.
to be reckoned with, Ruth.
But I had compressions on, and Prime Minister, someone introduced me to him, and they know me from my village, and they said she's from Australia, and he asked me what I'm doing there, and I said I stopped here to visit my parents because I'm on my way to have a surgery, and he asked me, oh, your country couldn't help you? I said, unfortunately, it's not even recognized and aware here, the situation, because you call it obesity. And like I had words with him, and like I got given some contacts of someone, and I've been invited to the Prime Minister office, and I spoke about my journey. So I'm going back in December, and I'm staying there for 6 weeks, and I'm going to try to create as much awareness as possible over there, and maybe help some women stop this body shaming, that they think they're fat and recognize they have a medical condition.
That is brilliant, Ruth. And so obviously this is a genetic thing for you. Like, this has come down. You said your mum, your auntie, your daughter. Did you always just think you were obese, or do you think it developed like in puberty? Where do you think it developed?
I tell you where, because looking back on when I went to my mom and I started flipping photo albums, I think when I was in my teens, I had problems with my ovaries and stuff. I had too much hormonal problems that at the age of 29, after having 2 kids, I had a full hysterectomy with ovaries removed, okay? So I started looking back on these photos. It started happening from 14 years onwards. And this might sound funny, okay? In Malta, we call people by nicknames, not names. And my nickname, and now I know why my nickname was that, it was Wine Barrel. Do you know the shape of a wine barrel? Skinny on the top and wide on the bottom.
Wow.
But I never understood why my body was like that, with a small waist and big hips, because I thought it's my shape from my family, because my family's shape is like that. So we 100% got it in the genes.
We hear so many warriors say that they didn't know that there was anything wrong with them because they just look like their auntie or look like their grandma or their mum. And so it just goes undetected until just one of us finds out.
Yes. And to give you another example, I know someone, I'm not going to mention names. I know like her friend very close, and I've got some lipidemia information from Lipoedema Australia. And I said to this friend of mine, I said, you know, your best friend? I said, she's got lipidemia. I said, she's not fat, because the way her knee pads are, the back of her knees, and the shape of her body. She goes, you know how much she diet and exercise? I said, yes, I know, because that used to happen to me. I said, would you mind I write you a letter and give her this information? She tried to give it to her, and she goes, no, I'm fat. I've been fat all my life, and my mother is like this, and my sisters are like this, and we all like this. This is in our blood. Yes, it's in your blood. It's lipidemia. It's not fat. So you can't put it in someone's mind if they don't want to listen, yeah? And
But
I always...
Ruth, you've planted a seed, and maybe, you know, that will grow and she'll get the help and start doing some conservative management.
Yes, maybe. And, you know, recently here in Melbourne, in my local area, in my district, my member of the parliament accepted to hold the lipidemia awareness warning for us. About 50 people attended to this event.
Yay.
Many of them were already diagnosed. Maybe like even Lipoedema Australia was present there, and they gave their thoughts and things about and their feedback input about this. But these women, the one that they were diagnosed, they learned something, okay, but there was 8 women that they always think they were fat. And someone brought them in there because they knew me, oh, you have to go because Ruth was the same shape as you. So these 8 women got diagnosed, some at stage 1, some at stage 2. They've already got their compression leggings. We helped them get the compression leggings and they're moving forward slowly, slowly. I tell the people, this is an overwhelming journey. You can't get all the information and start putting it all together in 1 week. Do one thing at a time. Once you develop a routine with that one thing, input the other one. You've got 2 things now going, put the other one. I also tell people that this did a big impact on my mental health. I was overwhelmed. So I had to find a psychologist that understands well chronic diseases. So she helped me navigate. And under the Medicare system, we get the 10 visits a year. So I utilize them. To this day, I go to my psychologist. She gave me strategies how to deal with overwhelming situations. And when I feel that it's so heavy on my shoulders, she taught me to understand my body, to work with my body, not against my body. Because yes, my mind wants to do things. I want to run a triathlon, but my body doesn't want me to run the triathlon. And that's why I ended up having the surgery. Because behind my knee, I had like a handbrake, pulling. And I could never run more than 10 Ks. I don't know how much I can run now because I'm still recovering from surgery. But as soon as I run 10 Ks, I will feel my legs are going to explode. And then I come home doing the therapy straight away, reduce the inflammation, ice baths and all this, but never could go from 10 to 12 mostly. So I say to people, learn to listen to your body. Your body will tell you. For example, on Monday, when I woke up, I have to weigh myself every day. It's not because I'm mentally sick, because I am in preparation for something and my coach needs to know my weight, what's going on with my fluid and everything. It's not that I'm obsessed with the scales, okay? So I weighed myself and I had 3 kilos extra on my scale. So there was no way from Sunday night to Monday morning that I've put on 3 kilos in my body. So now, because that used to happen to me a lot, I know how to process that. That means my body is telling me I have some inflammation, either in my legs, there's some inflammation. The fluid went up. Because this case I have, it tells you if it's fluid, fat, or something like it tells you. So then I listen to my body. Monday, Tuesday, I did not do any heavy training. I just cycled on the bike. I just walked as much as I could, get my 10,000 steps, drink my water, eat my food, wear my compression, do my pumps. By Wednesday, they were gone, the 3 kilos, which means it was a flare-up of the lipidemia.
Can you pinpoint certain things that flare you up? Because we can't live in this defined box, doing all the things all of the time. Something has to give sometimes. Do you know what things can trigger you?
Yes.
Say, and put it in if you're doing most of the right things.
Yes, my trigger was Saturday. I went for a long drive with my husband. We went to the countryside, which I tend to do once a week, like disconnect from everything and just go somewhere and just take it easy on the body. Just take it easy. But Sunday morning, I did a big session at the gym. I lifted a little bit heavier than my body usually lifts. And I had a full-on day standing on my feet, doing my meal preps, shopping. So I did not rest. So my body told me that I've done wrong because Saturday, I did a lot.
Yeah.
And Sunday, so those 2 days, I did a lot and my body flared up. And some people say, oh, it's not only lipidemia people that happens to that. Yes, but you can feel it in your legs. My legs, I had to drag them. They were too heavy, especially behind my knees.
Yeah. And look, retrospectively, you wouldn't do anything differently, but it's good to know for your mental health. It's good to know, okay, if I'm feeling really good in the gym and I lift a bit more and then I've got a really busy day because life happens, I might get a flare up and those 3 kilos might come on. But that's life and it will go away in a few days because I have strategies in place. It's a different mind.
Yes, the mindset is everything. Before, that used to upset me until someone told me, do you know how many calories extra you need to eat on top of your maintenance to put 1 kilo of fat? 7,700 calories. So I had I had 3 kilos, not 1 kilo. So, and there's another thing that can flare it up. We are living, not existing. All right, I cook my meal plans and I still try to stick to my meal plan. But when I go out with my husband, I dine in restaurants. I open the menu and try to pick the healthiest item on that menu, which might be a steak, a salmon, a chicken, whatever it is. With a side of veggies, I also ask for the dressing on the side so I can control that. Because if it's a creamy salad, I'm not having it because I'm gluten and lactose free. But what happens is, in them restaurants, you don't know what kind of sodium they're using to seasoning that meat and that fish and that chicken. So the sodium levels go up, and that's what flare your fluid up. The body will start holding to fluid automatically. So that needs to be in mind too. We are living, not existing. It's okay. Prepare yourself for the flare up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because we have a whole lives to lead. We are not just Lipoedema and we need to live those lives fully. And if that means going to a beautiful restaurant with your, dear husband, then heck yeah, we're going to do that. And we're going to eat off that.
Of course. And traveling. How many people say, no, I can't travel because if I this, I have a... No, carry your lifestyle. Once you carry your lifestyle, I'm going to sound like a proper idiot now, yeah? On my way back from Spain, I traveled on business class because I needed my legs to be high up. So they coming with when you order food on an aeroplane, it can either be gluten or it can either be lactose free. It can't be both. All the airlines, they're like that. So I am prepared. What did I do? I went to the doctor, my local doctor, before I left Australia. I made him write me a letter that I have a medical condition and I need to be careful of what I eat. I carried my protein powder in sachets, not in a big bag. You can buy them in single sachets. I carried small almond milk, 200 ml. So every time they try to bring me food, they say, you want what? No, I just want the fruit. I take the fruit, put it in my shaker, put the powder, put the milk in. I passed the milk through security with me. I had 3 packs every time for 3 flights. Because a flight to Europe, we had 3 connections. In the airport, I didn't buy any food. From there, I had my salad with me on my way down. I had a sandwich. You can take out the food. You cannot bring it back to Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus, in transits, if it's more than 1 hour and a half, I was doing my leg pumps on the floor too. So I carry my leg pump machine anywhere I go. If I'm going on a trip around Australia with my caravan, if I'm going overseas, my leg pump comes with me. Because they are like having your manual lymphatic drainage therapist with you on the go. And the leg pump machine doesn't count as a cabin weight. They don't count. No.
It's medical.
That's a really
It's
good...
a medical equipment. You don't need to get a letter from the doctor for it. But I suggest you do, just in case they ask questions. It is this extra allowance. It's not charged, nothing. One thing you have to do, make sure you carry a travel adapter plug because of some countries. So I keep my letter in the pocket of the leg pump machine, just in case I get asked by security, what is this? But when you go and do your check-in, you straight away tell them, this bag is medical equipment. They tag it with the tag, and that goes with you in the cabin. Never send that with your big luggages. And I had no issue. I took my machine to India, Bali, Fiji, anywhere. Ask me. I always take since I bought that machine, that comes with me everywhere.
That's a great tip for people who want to travel.
Yeah.
That medical devices don't count towards luggage weight or anything, and it can be put in carry-on. That is gold.
That's
Really is
amazing.
gold.
Well, some people say I can't be bothered. Well, I can't be bothered having a flare-up, sorry.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's what you're willing to deal with, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Like,
And
have the flare or
Carry a
take your
bit
cup.
more.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
mentally, I can't deal with flare-ups that I I create myself. So if I can carry the leg pump to avoid a flare-up, let's say if I go to Europe, I'm not going for 1 week. You're going more. So you're gonna go 4 or 5 weeks without pumping your legs? I don't think so. I can't do it. Well,
Yeah.
before I told you how I walked 23 kilometers for kids with cancer. As soon as I got home, because the walk started at midnight and we got home 5 o'clock in the morning. We did it over the night between Thursday and Good Friday, like the Good Friday morning. Soon as I got home, the first thing I did, take off my compression leggings because you cannot pump with the compression leggings on. And straight away went on the leg pump machine. By lunchtime, I was at my mum having lunch because I had no pain at all.
Perfect.
Great. Yeah. That's fantastic. And a really good trick if you do things that are physically demanding and you do have a pump available, if you've purchased a pump or you have one available, then utilizing those things for those days where you're more active or more
That's
stressed,
right.
you know, it's a great tool to level everything up.
Well, for example, I told you how I used to run because I want to do a triathlon. When I do a long run, when I used to, not yet, I can't run yet because they told me I have to wait until I start running. Before I leave for my run, I do 10 minutes on my vibration plate. The most important thing, I'm wearing a 25 mHg circular knit compression. You can't run with flat knit. Circular knit compression, 25 to 30 mGh. I do my run, get home straight away. 10 minutes on the vibration plate. Shower and then do the pump. So if I'm doing a run, I'm not allowing for the 1 hour run. I'm allowing extra time for recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that extra time is quite significant. So it needs to be accounted for in your life if you're going to do those things that are physically demanding.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right.
Prioritize the recovery. Oh, wow, Ruth, I feel your passion coming through the screen. And it's incredible. In fact, we gave you a list of, you know, the questions that we would ask. And without even asking the question, you've pretty much touched on everything that we were going to ask you. And it's because you are so passionate and you're doing so much.
You made us redundant, Ruth.
I know, we don't even need to be here.
No, not at all. Not at all. I admire people like you that put their own time to help others. Because if, for example, me, if I didn't do research from, like I take medical advice, and I always say to people, don't diagnose yourself. Please make sure you go to the therapist. I had a discussion with my GP. Like I told you, I was lucky. My GP told me about it. But my GP is the practice manager he's the head of the doctors in his clinic. And I got to know that one of his doctors sent a woman to the obesity clinic when she went and told him my legs are sore, they have it. So he sent her to the obesity clinic. So I called my doctor. I've got his mobile number. I said, I'd like to talk to you. Can you call me when you're free? And he goes, yeah. And he called me and I said, Dr. Mendes, I need to have a meeting with you because one of your doctors sent someone to an obesity clinic, which I think this woman has got lipidemia. I am not a doctor. You are the doctor. I've got information leaflets from Lipidemia Australia. I want to share with you, to share with your doctors in your clinic. Please, before tell someone they're obese, make sure you are assessing their skin and their symptoms and what they're feeling. And please make sure you take care of their mental health. So I'm having a face-to-face meeting with him next week. He told me to bring him all the leaflets and information. Because you never know, there will be a young girl like my daughter. Why should she suffer? Why should she suffer until she's in her 40s and 50s to get diagnosed? I have a friend, her name is Rosalind. And this girl, we go to a gym. It's called, can I say the name of the gym? BFT, Body Fit Training. So this gym is not a normal gym. You will know people by face, by names and everything. So this girl is training hard, and I know she's cutting her food, but from her leggings I could see the puff coming out from her ankle. So one day I called her on the side. I said, Rosalind, how many calories are you eating? She said, I don't eat much, but I'm not losing weight. That's wrong, because it's not your calories, it's not your training. You have got what I've got. Straight away, she said, give me the details. She went to my therapist. She wear the compression. So this was in December. By now, she's already lost 8 kilos from where she was stuck for about 2 or 3 years. She just traveled to Japan. She took her leg pump machine. She's wearing medical grade compressions under her clothes. She posted a thing on Instagram. I am turning into a Ruth.
That's the highest compliment.
I love that. That's so good.
And she's a mother of 2 young girls. And the first thing they asked was, surgery can fix it. No, surgery is not going to fix it. You need to do everything you can before you go to surgery, because after surgery, you're going to keep doing the things.
Yeah,
If you
surgery
don't,
is just a reset. It's not a fix.
if you don't want to waste the money you spend on the surgery, you still have to keep doing your lifestyle as before.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, what I said to the health minister when she came to the awareness meeting down there, if I had a magic wand in my hand and I could bang it on you, I wouldn't ask for surgery money from you. I would have asked MLD compression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If every woman can have access to a compression legging, they wouldn't be in pain. They wouldn't have so much difficulties with navigating, because the benefits of the compression is the #1 priority.
Yeah, love that, Ruth. And I was just thinking, when you were talking about, a doctor sending their patient to an obesity clinic, I wonder another opportunity is to target education within the clinicians that work in the obesity clinics to help differentiate between obesity and then obesity and lipedema, because you don't get sent to an obesity clinic really unless you have some level of lifestyle fat, really. So there'd be two, there'd be both.
Yeah.
And you have, if you target the lipedema first, then they get a little bit of a kick because it's overall wellness with their lymphatic system and everything. So there's another opportunity there in the obesity clinics to educate those clinicians about differentiating and helping people navigate those two things.
Well, the person went for the appointment, and when she mentioned lipedema, the clinician went on the laptop and started Googling lipedema. She didn't even know about it. So that makes me angry. Makes me very angry.
But at least she was willing to look it up, Ruth.
Yes.
Like, we got it instead of just going, I've never heard of it, so it doesn't exist. At least they did Google it.
Yeah.
Like, that is a little step forward,
Yeah, but as a nutrition or dietitian, they should know the nutrition we should eat. For example, I always say to people, be careful of your breakfast. I'm not saying what's right and wrong, but when we eat, as I love a sweet breakfast, like I love an overnight, because oats has got gluten in them and I don't. So I used to use gluten-free wheat bix and make like a cheesecake thing with protein powder, with mixed berries, and maybe on top some coconuts and yogurt. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when we eat sweet things in the morning, our insulin levels spike up, and that feeds our lipedema nodules. So now I had to change, by time I had to learn this, to a savory breakfast and leave the sweet in mid-morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna have them.
Yeah.
It's
Really good
it's
tip.
it's not eating them, where I'm placing them in the day.
Yeah, totally, exactly. It's not a no, it's a just think about it and time it a little bit differently. And I think that's a
That's
really good tip. I share having, I used to love having a sweet breakfast, and I didn't do it often, but when I would go out for breakfast, I would choose a treat option rather than a
yes,
healthy option because, YOLO. And so knowing that my body doesn't like that, it doesn't respond to it very well, I've gotten used to having a savory breakfast. And I must say, it does make a difference having a savory breakfast. And it doesn't mean you can't have anything sweet. It just means that do the savory first. And then,
yeah,
so I like to couple my breakfast with a protein shake, but I know that the protein shake is sweet. So I eat the portion of my breakfast that's savory first and then have the protein shake after
that's
that.
right. That's right. So you don't spike your insulin levels. But you talk to people and they say, "Oh, but I'm going to live my life always on diet." It's not a diet. I'm eating everything I eat. I eat meat, I eat fish, I eat turkey, chicken, blueberries, nuts, anything you want. I even have a piece of chocolate. But there is the right timing when I'm having the portion too. Like if before I used to have a whole block of chocolate,
For
the whole
sure.
thing. Now
Yeah.
I know my portion is 2 blocks. It has to be organic because I can't have lactose and gluten. So it has to be organic. And that's my portion. And I'm going to enjoy it and love it. Even ice cream, I have sorbet or
Yeah.
lactose free ice cream. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you're right, Ruth. And that takes a lot of growth for somebody. Like you've been through such a big journey with your lipedema and the mental health journey alongside your lipedema. It takes a lot of trial and error to understand these small tweaks do make a difference. And it's not a diet, it's the lifestyle that I'm choosing to lead because I can notice a difference with my lipedema or whatever condition that you have. It's a mindset shift, and that's really hard for some people. We have to meet them where they're at. And if they're not ready for that yet, there's other things they can do. And you demonstrated so many things that can be done with the compression, the vibration plate, the leg, the pump machine, exercise. There's so many things within your control. You just have to pick the ones that you can do in your
That's
everyday
right.
life. Yeah.
That's right. It, it,
Yeah.
it takes 66 days for a habit to become a routine for a person. So
Yeah.
once you do the same thing 66 days in a row, automatically your brain is gonna do it.
Yeah. And it's freedom, isn't it?
Yes,
When it's just second nature to you, but to get to that place is hard work. If you can persist for
yes,
that 66 days, then you get that freedom of just adding, having a break or adding something else when you're ready.
that's
Yeah, I love
right.
that.
and
Yeah.
and fit your spot in the social environment with your medical condition carried with you, but you don't put your body into stress and pain, because now that you're so used to, for example, if I walk in, I'm gonna go, they say, all right, we're meeting friends, or they want to go to this restaurant. The first thing I do, I Google the menu, have a
Yeah.
look, and see if there is something good for me. If not, I discuss with my friends and I say, listen, I really would love to come, but there's nothing for me there that I can have. Can we change the restaurant? If you can't, I understand. So
Yeah.
I negotiate with my friends
Sure.
or my family, because I don't want to put my body into pain, because I will suffer after.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, before, before I had this little one, I was an avid intermittent faster. We'd always talk about in the community, we'd always talk about going to a restaurant for not the purpose of eating, for the purpose of connection, because the people are around you. And there's nothing wrong with, if you are comfortable and if your friends are comfortable with you coming with a full tummy before you go and being there for the connection part rather than the food part, if that's something that's comfortable with you and your friends. And that takes a bit of conversation as well. So you can either choose to talk to your friends about changing the restaurant that you go to, or just letting them know, hey, I might just have a cup of tea, or I might just have a cup of coffee, or I might just have their sparkling water or something, but please don't be offended. I've already
Yes.
eaten. I had to nourish my body.
That's what I do. That's what I do. And I always have a plant-based protein bar in my handbag, just in case I go somewhere with my husband or my friends, that there is nothing I cannot eat. And I got caught in there with timing. And not to leave my stomach empty, I have this protein bar always sitting in my bag. Because
that's a great tip.
you can't control some situations. You can control yourself, right? So, for example, as I said, we're Maltese, and my husband likes going to this Maltese club on a Sunday to socialize with some people. And obviously, they cook Maltese food over there. I cannot eat it. So I went to the management and I said to them, look, my husband likes coming here. I don't mind coming here to socialize with Maltese people. But do you mind me if I bring my dinner with me? She says, not at all. I said, because I have a medical condition. She goes, not at all. Feel free to bring it. If you need to heat it for you. So there's nothing wrong with person asking. How many times I walked into a restaurant, I like something, but there is something in that menu, in that plate that I know it will trigger my lipidemia. So I go to order. I say, please speak to the chef. As I said, I need to speak to the chef. The chef comes, he goes, what can I do for you, for example? Oh, I'd love to have this mushroom risotto, but do you mind not putting the cream in for me because I'm lactose free? Yeah, no worries, ma'am. If he said, no, I can't, sorry, it's okay. I go and choose another thing. But there's nothing wrong with you asking.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah. And more than likely, they are more than happy to accommodate. It's only if they've batched things up, beforehand.
They've pre-done it. Yeah.
Pre-done it.
Yeah,
that they
pre-done, yeah.
Very good. Ruth, we are just up to our last question, and it's one that Shelley and I both love to ask our warriors. If you could go back and give your youngest self a pep talk, what would you tell her?
I will say to her, it's okay. You got this. Focus and control yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. It's going to be okay. Look into the methods like I did now at this older age, and I would still try to help as many people as I go on the way. But looking back on my childhood, I realized why I look so different from other people. And I wouldn't have been so hard on myself, like not body shaming, but I always wondered why I was different. But if I knew I had lipidemia, I would have acted differently than this,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's going to be okay. And if we focus, there's so much that we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always, when I find a hurdle during this weight loss journey of mine, it's not only the lipidemia that came into the middle. Last year, Easter, 6 weeks in hospital I spent. Because after I lost all that weight, that lap band popped out of my stomach and it created a big hernia. So when I went to have the hernia operation and remove that lap band that I was abusing for all those years, there was a small rupture in my bowels. So they had to put me on a tube in my nose, a feeding tube, and a drip. So I had to go to surgery 6 times until they fixed it because they stitched me so tight that the water was not going through. But I said to myself, I got this. I am gonna get through this. So I said to my daughter, get me my compression pants, get me my leg pump machine. She goes, well, I said, I'm not staying in the hospital here and my lipidemia is going to go out of control after I manage to fix it. So that was a hurdle that I went, like I could hear them saying to each other, go call her husband. She's nearly gone. My blood pressure was so down, they gave me my final rites. They brought the priest and everything. And I saw that light coming the tunnel into and I stood up like this. I'm not going anywhere. Please don't call my husband. Please don't call my husband. And from that moment on, I have put on a fight. And I said to myself, I got this. I got this. And on that hospital visit, I met a girl. Her name is Zoe. Zoe was diagnosed at stage 3. And she's now taking care of her lipidemia too, because when she saw me walking with the compression leggings, she goes, why are you not wearing the hospital gown? I said, because I have lipidemia. She noticed my accent, and her family is Maltese too. And I said, sorry, Zoe, don't get offended. I think you need to get diagnosed. You got it too. And she had it.
Doing the good work, Ruth, you are.
Spreading the word.
I try my absolute best.
Yeah, even when you're down, you're not out.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's right.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ruth. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to meet you in person one day.
We will. Thank you for having. Thank you for having me. Some people know my name, but not many people know my story and why I am so passionate about this lipidemia. I think because I had to put up a big fight for it.
Well, everyone's going to know your story now, Ruth.
Yeah.
You'll be published.
Thank you, Ruth. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Amazing.
The Lipoedema Podcast 2025 is powered by Elegance Lymphatic Care. Lipoedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipoedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.